Since we started monitoring Cardano, a lot has been happening. It does indeed become better and better. There will be viewers who click this video and ask, "What are you talking about?" after seeing the introduction. Crypto is down. Cardano has fallen. It is angled. Consider this. This graph shows daily data. Nothing is happening. How is it continuing to get better? And then we'll discuss some recent news that has emerged. It is incredibly bullish. I can't wait to follow this with you. One thing I've discovered is that these films are only for entertainment reasons. Please note that this is not financial advice. I'm sharing with you my cryptocurrency adventures since I know you're also on one. And I'm disseminating these facts, items, and lessons that I'm discovering. But one thing I did learn, and something I've learned via cryptocurrency over the years I've been here, is that bear markets are when you should get bullish and think bullish. This is the time to monitor the fundamentals and determine which initiatives are laying strong foundations in front of the upcoming bull market. And when it comes to cryptocurrency, there are a lot of projects growing and doing incredibly exciting things that are likely to be very successful. The top of that list is Cardano. So let's get started right away. I just noticed this tweet. It's Alex here. Greetings to Alex. Given that this is essentially what I saw circulating on Twitter, I'm very sure he brought it. Cardano is now ranked 26th among the top brands in the LM Top Brand Intimacy 2020 rankings. See report. Consider this. Number 26 is located there. BMW comes before Bitcoin. This is significant for a few reasons. Intimate brands continue to beat the Fortune 500 in the stock market, according to a section of the research on page 6 if we move over here to the actual report. So that's what we know right away. The Fortune 500 stock market continue to underperform intimate brands. Doesn't it seem like a year, 5 years, 10 years, or whatever timescale span is on the macro, to me? What will Cardano be doing in terms of performance? What would that look like? If the stock market is used as an example, what percentage increases and how much bigger of percentage gains will Cardano have made? Although I could be mistaken and might not do better, I'm rather confident that it will be insane. Epic figures. Most recently, we examined the top 20 intimate brands from the Fortune 500 to see how their profits would rise and how their stocks would fare in 2021 compared to 2020. Personal brands produce better results in terms of profit and stock. Let's now take a closer look at what this entails. It numbered 600. This involved comparing 600 plus products, which included richer comparisons and more brands than ever before with a worldwide emphasis. And guess what? Cardano is 26 places ahead of BMW and 30 places ahead of Bitcoin. But there are a few things you should know about this new arrival. Not only is Cardano the top-ranked cryptocurrency brand in our survey, but it also has the best financial services brand performance, coming in at number 26. Overall, you cannot argue with me that this is bullish. And I am aware that there is only one minor issue at hand. It's just one tiny piece of data. But it's surrounded by all of these other data points that we've been monitoring on this YouTube channel for months and months and months. I'll add another piece of information because this is fantastic. Cardano news. This is another piece of news. This is somewhat of today's CCV announcement. We updated our pools, which are now at 1.3 and 5.3. Start the primary engine with all systems in motion. This is for the Vasile hard fork. According to a recent tweet from IOHK, SPO is now operating node 1353. They currently produce more than 40% of the primary net blocks, and they aim to increase that to 75%. That is the quantity. That is the figure we are aiming for. So, this is the tweet they posted at 2:13 p.m. In the video, I act as though everything happened exactly 6 hours ago. The pool tool is located right here. 44% now that it has been nearly 6 hours, 44% are 44% instead of 42%. As a result, more nodes are updating to 1353. And Vasile is within striking distance of us. For Cardano, this is a very exciting time. And yeah, it is rather ridiculous, you know what I mean. We actually are going to look at this 6-hour chart, but I argue it's pointless because there are more important things we should be doing. Therefore, zooming out on a Cardano weekly chart tends to make it easier to see what's going on. In a bear market right now. But Vasile is happening with the basics. You may be wondering what is happening with Cardano after seeing this study that places it 26 places ahead of Bitcoin and ahead of BMW. It's being mostly disregarded in the cryptosphere due to people's vested interests in other protocols and other things. Zooming out on the charts at this point would be quite positive. I can't stress this enough. I am aware that I frequently zoom in on the charts. And we discuss the current course of action. Cardano currently costs around 46 cents. However, even if Cardano drops, there is still this chart. The chart that matters is this one. I just cannot emphasize this enough if you plan to stay for the long term. If you're a long-term investor, like I am, you should be prepared by going to ADA and looking at the charts because, if you're anything like me, you follow the daily and the 6-hour and are kind of curious as to what the next move will be since it is at a fairly significant level. We have monitored Cardano. And I don't want to say it too many times. On a daily basis, you can see how skewed it has become. However, we have been monitoring Cardano throughout this bottom range. And as we just discussed, it is now constrained within this bottom range, so we must just wait for a nice pop in either direction. However, this is the area to the downside that we have talked about as a support area. And that is from its current location. With a cushion of about 10% for the downside, ADA is currently trading at 46 cents and might fall as low as 44 cents or as high as 41 cents. Currently, Cardano is likely to experience a decline if there is any sort of a downturn in the cryptocurrency markets, since that is what will happen. So that's the one drawback, and I'm ready for it. On this daily chart, though, I wanted to discuss this. On this daily chart, you can see, and this may be related to the narrative of the sluggish turn or slow reversal on the daily chart's macro level. This transfer took place in January. Let me locate this, please. You can watch ADA making this maneuver in January. Only a pleasant upward spike above these moving averages 25-day. We've looked at that before, so this isn't the first time. Additionally, ADA recently moved pretty similarly above those moving averages. Now, if you take a closer look at this momentum oscillator, the slower moving momentum oscillators RSI, you can see that ADA has recently encountered some resistance in a location resembling that on the RSI's descent. And now consolidating sideways even very similarly to how it did back then. Take note of what it did after consolidating for a significant amount of time sideways. This is extremely similar to what's happening right now, as you can see. Once more, ADA tested these moving averages. The main thing I'm watching on this daily chart is therefore probably that. When will the ADA make these moving average tests once more cost between 49 and 50 cents? It is just over the current level. Dan, as you might point out, we've been monitoring how ADA has been supporting those regions. And I am 100% certain that it has failed. I agree that it's disappointing since I had hoped to see higher highs, higher lows, and spectacular moves above. And it is evident that nothing came out of these enormous macro trend lines. It's a major worry. What I will say, though, is that we do have this 20 moving average crossing over the 50-day moving average, and we do have a to trade within this kind of constricted range of momentum shift, which means a U-turn may be building. Although the charts are extremely similar, we didn't observe a 20-day moving average crossing above the 50-day back in January. It was not taking place. Therefore, this serves as a useful macro data point for ADA. We will see these two moving averages type of entwine, which is a really attractive structure for a bottom consolidation, especially if it is able to return above them. I can't stress this enough. There is a ton of other information that influences the news about interest rates, inflation, and other data points that the stock market releases each week. On the basis of charts, there is a ton of information. Therefore, we must be ready for every eventuality. However, I can only see this on the weekly chart's daily chart. I would like to state this: if I zoom in, you can see that red line there where the 20-week moving average over the acting as resistance, which we have been anticipating because it happened back here in April, a little bit better. This is another cause for concern. The 20-week moving average is about to cross below that 50-week moving average. Obtain the local resistance. Now that the RSI is in this historical low position, the setup for ADA momentum oscillators is not promising. We're talking about a low, after all. The range that we saw in March 2020 applies. We currently have no choice but to follow it and wait, as it is in the range that we observed at the bottom of the previous bear market, of actually putting in a bottom formation. If we move to the 6-hour, here is how the ADA's lack of decisiveness and indecision for only 5 days sideways appears. I mean, there isn't really any structure here, so I'm just like you. I'm merely waiting and watching. I'll just go hang out tonight and relax. That's about all I have to say about this. The range is this. The 6-hour candle closure and the upper trend line resistance keep failing that I was following, and for a brief moment I thought we were having a small breakout. So frail. As a result, the 6-hour and daily candles that we are currently in are both red and have ADA down. It's so new, I mean, I've only been filming for 20 minutes. We will thus keep an eye on that and see what transpires. But at this time, if there is to be any downside, I believe the range to watch for is one that can help retain support and create a higher low from the swing low we made back in July, roughly at the beginning of July. So, there's not much more to say about why I'm observing the ADA charts. But with things like this happening, we're just 44% of the way to 1353, and then we have this, which is just pretty fantastic to see Cardano at 26. Look at that, a Bitcoin was used to beat out a BMW. Everyone wants to see this during a bear market. Knowing prices is not always enjoyable. I am aware that discussing price isn't always enjoyable. I am aware that we aim for the stars. If you invest in cryptocurrencies, it only makes sense. However, this is precisely what we want to see with this cryptocurrency, Cardano, if we have to be in a bear market. The foundational principles are getting considerably stronger than they already are. In order to keep track of it, we wait and watch. Please hit the subscribe and like buttons.